Banks is back. Let's get into it. Alright, man. Torture Talk. Like, share, subscribe to the page. You know what it is. Today, I'm going to be reviewing Lloyd Banks's The Course of the Inevitable. But before I get into that, make sure you like, share, subscribe to the page. Hit the thumbs up if you like the content. If you don't, hit the thumbs down. YouTube is not paying me, so I do what I want. All right. Lloyd Banks. Course of the Inevitable. All right, Lloyd Banks is a Queens rapper. He's been around for years. I would say Lloyd Banks is a legend. He is one of the members of G Unit from back in the day. G Unit is a group from the late 2000s, I would say, early 2000s, somewhere around there. But G Unit is a great group to me, one of the top 10 groups of all time. And Lloyd Banks is one of those artists that came from that group. So, Course of the Inevitable. All right, so here's the thing. Lloyd Banks took a while off. I think he made a couple of mixtapes. But this is his album coming back after maybe about 10 years, I would say. I don't know when I think his last album was The Rotten Apple. And that was a while ago. So, well, I think he had an album after that. I'm not sure. But this album here, to me, was one of those albums that I thought was pretty good lyrically. And I guess I'll just start with the lyrics. All right, so Lloyd Banks always been known as the PLK, the Punchline King. He's always been one of those rappers that people respected his pen game. And out of everybody in G Unit, I think that everybody looked to Lloyd Banks for the bars. They looked at him for to be the one that stand out with the punches, with the witty words, the witty wordplay, the witty lines, the slick flow, and all this stuff. I think that people looked for Lloyd Banks in that. So it kind of carried on from his old stuff all the way up till now. And he hasn't lost a step when it comes to lyrics. I think Lloyd Banks, his lyrics always been exceptional. And this is no exception. I think that he actually, I won't say got better, but I'm going to say that he never skipped a beat. So the lyrics, I think, actually carried this album for the most part. I think that the lyrics were something that you will always remember, and he had a lot of good lines in it, man. A lot of good lines. So I would say that the lyrics carried this album for the most part. And as far as the production goes, the production was terrible. Most of the beats sound the same. It wasn't something that I would be like, oh yeah, that was fire. It wasn't a really banger on this album with the production. I think that the production, he tailored it towards him. But for the most part, that's what really hindered the album or hurt him on this album, is the fact that it had a 90s or a 90s feel, but you have to be a little more with it nowadays. You can't just be just 90s all the way through. You know what I'm saying? It has to be something more to it. I think that Lloyd Banks, to me, has this style that only a select few people will like on this album. And I'm a big Lloyd Banks fan. I'm a big Lloyd Banks fan. I think that most people are going to listen to this album and they're going to like it But the people, if he's trying to get newer fans to come in and listen to it, they're gonna think that it's dry and it's boring and it's sleepy and it's like, okay, what's this? Because there's no excitement on this album. To me, there's nothing that gets me excited or gets me going. It's just like, oh, this joint tough. Yeah, all right, yeah, that joint, yeah. And every song is the same. You know what I'm saying? To me, most of the beats, even if his raps are different, the beats make the song sound like they're the same song. You know what I'm saying? As far as the sound quality goes, I don't think the sound quality was that great either. I think that, I mean, you can hear him rap, but for me, like I played it in my car, I played it in my headphones, and it just sounded regular. It didn't sound like it was, it just sounded like somebody did, did some nice tweaking to it. That was it. It didn't sound like something that was like, oh yeah, that beat hitting, that sound is, that bass is hitting, is coming through, So for me, I gave this project a strong 7. And maybe it'll grow on me. And I'll probably listen to it maybe 1 or 2 more times. Who knows? But as of right now, it's a strong 7. I think that Lloyd Banks, for this album, to me, what really held this album down was the production. I think that if Lloyd Banks had better production on this album, it would have been a phenomenal album, to me. Yeah, I mean, I think that the production was cool. I mean, it was just like, it wasn't good. You know what I mean? It wasn't cool, it wasn't good. But as far as the raps go, the raps carried the album. Strong 7. Lloyd Banks.